Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
So great to see everybody who's in the sanctuary, and hello to the people who are joining us from home in their PJs. So happy that you're with us today. So we sort of have a strange day today. Our speaker, Doug Watts, had a strange reaction to his COVID vaccine, so he will not be with us this morning. So he's not having much fun, but hello, Doug, sorry. We'll miss you in person. We have Rick on piano, and we also have some beautiful, wonderful music from Joy. And our talk today will be by Maurita on the television. And today, of course, is Valentine's Day. And so we have picked a message that Maurita gave a number of years ago around Valentine's Day again. So she gets to see herself because she's with us in the sanctuary this morning. So, and Anne, would you like to do a reading? Thank you.
God cannot be found in noise and restlessness. God is the friend of silence. Mother Teresa of Calcutta. For Mother Teresa, activity did not lead to God, silence did. The point to consider is what leads you to an attitude of prayer, to making contact with the divine. Here are some questions to ponder. What kind of silence speaks to you of God? There are many kinds of silence. I can imagine that for some, perhaps for you, the roar of the ocean, or even the hum of an urban noise is a kind of silence that can lead to God. Is it the silence that comes from the tumult of the storm, from the roar of the surf, or do you keep the deeper quiet of a forest, or do you prefer the deeper quiet of a forest glade? Who encourages you to an attitude of silence or prayer? A friend, a saint, officially canonized or not? Where do you feel most quiet or most open to the divine? At home, in a church, perhaps a museum or park? What are some personal links to prayer? A book or image, a place, sacred texts? For Mother Teresa, activity did not lead to God, silence did. But it is also obvious that the God she encountered in silence led her to remarkable activity. This is a fine example of the truth that the reason for stopping is going, spending time doing nothing creatively and on purpose, giving your spiritual values opportunity to be present and urgent to you as the result of prioritizing your whole life. It clarifies and motivates. It can move you to magnificent activity. Today, find some silence in which to spend some moments.
Thank you, Anne. That was lovely. So let us all say our statement of being together.
God is all, both invisible and visible. One presence, one mind, one power is all. This one that is all is perfect life, perfect love, and perfect substance. I am the individualized expression of God, and am ever one with His perfect life, perfect love, and perfect substance.
Good morning.
Hey,
Happy Valentine's Day. Yay. So I'm going to sing a song that's very un-Valentine's Day. Sorry, but it's a beautiful song. It's called Loosen, Loosen. It's by Allie Halpert. And I know a lot of people who are going through some struggles right now, and this song is such a sweet, comforting, empathetic song. So it's just in my heart, and I want to sing it to you. And if any of you are going through challenges, this is my hug from me to you. Loosen, loosen, baby, you don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. Loosen, loosen, baby, you don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. Loosen, loosen, baby, you don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let's go, let go, let go. Loosen, loosen, baby, you don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let's go, let go, let go. Loosen, loosen, baby, you don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let's go, let go, let go. Loosen, loosen, baby, you don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let's go, let go, let go. Loosen, loosen, baby, you don't
So I'd like everybody to get comfortable and do a little meditation. If during the week you don't have time to do this, at least if you are with us on Sundays, you'll get a few minutes of quiet. So I'd like you to feel the seat. Feel the seat that you're in. Feel your feet on the floor. Feel your breathing. Breathe slowly and quietly. Let's take a deep breath together in. Let's let that go. And with that, we let go of the week. We let go of any consternation we may have, any sadness. We let go of concerns. And we just let go of our joys also. We can pick them up later. But for now, let's just let all of that go. And let's just sit quietly. Knowing that the world is going by, but it doesn't matter, because we are right here, right now. We are conscious of our breath. Let us consider omnipresence as infinite, eternal, boundless, and changeless love. And we might say omnipresence is the cause of all things, or omnipresence is the source of all things. But let us put this word love in those same thoughts. And so we would think and feel that love is the cause of all things. Love is the source of all things. Love is the eternal presence within me, guiding me in all ways. Pure, divine, and perfect love is the very soul of the whole universe. There is one presence above all, through all, and in all. That presence is love and is omnipresence, which would mean that love is above and in and through all. Every visible thing in creation is pervaded by the omnipresent love and is filled with its power and perfection. I open my eyes to the truth of love everywhere. Let me say that again. I open my eyes to the truth of love everywhere. God hath not given me a spirit of fear, but of love and of power and a sound mind. Love shall so shine from me that it will illumine all my world. So let us contemplate that love shall so shine from me and through me that it illumines all my world. Let's sit with that thought for just a few minutes. light shine, and it illumines everything around me. And I bask in the love of the presence, which is everywhere. And so it is. And while we are in the prayerful mood, let us say the Our Father from the New Ra Foundation. Our Father, who is everywhere, your name is sacred, your kingdom is come, your will is throughout the earth, even as it is throughout the universe. You give us our needful bread from day to day, and you forgive us our offenses, even as we forgive our offenders. And you let us not into materialism, but you separate us from error. Because yours are the kingdom, and the power, and the song and praise, from all ages, throughout all ages, sealed in faith, trust, and truth. Amen.
The sermon title today is, and the greatest of these is love. Thank you. Thank you. That's the sermon title. Well, 3 days ago we celebrated Valentine's Day. But I don't see any reason to stop the celebration. In fact, love is something that should be, that needs to be celebrated, not just on February 14th, but every day. And in fact, many times a day. The voice of wisdom spoke through the 5th century theologian, Augustine of Hippo, who said, "He who is filled with love is filled with God himself." It's a sort of echo of 1 John 2, isn't it? But no less someone who knew the Master Jesus himself said in the book of John, "A new commandment I give unto you, that you love one another as I have loved you." And did he love them and us? His acts of service, of sacrifice, and of love were so many that they leave us in awe in that brief 3 years. So much was accomplished. So much. Now, he knew without a doubt that he was going to be put to death for what he was saying and doing, the healing. He was frightening the religious hierarchy to pieces with the power and the truth that he spoke. But nevertheless, he pushed right on and without any hesitation. And his teachings, as well as the life, the death, and the resurrection that he experienced, gave us an example of a way to live that would provide the greatest good for us individually and for the world. From then, 2,000 years ago, to 2,000 years from now. Now, what greater act of love could that be? In the books of both Matthew and Mark, Jesus is asked, which is the first of the commandments? Now, when you think how well he must have known the what we call the Old Testament, he might have picked any one of a number of different passages, but he chose Moses' words from Deuteronomy. "Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind, and with all thy strength." Now, these days we hear a lot about the second part of that, which is, of course, love thy neighbor as thyself. But both Moses and Jesus said loud and clear, the primary place that your loving attention should go is to the creative power, is to the source of all good, the source of life itself, the omnipresent source of all love. That is, your primary attention, your loving attention should go on God. Now, Jesus said this because that's the spiritual discipline he obviously followed himself. His love of God was without measure. He loved God with his whole being. And look at what that love was able to bring into the world. This past Wednesday night, instead of doing the thing we usually do, which is studying Melinda Kramer's book, Divine Science and Healing, the group listened to a tape by Jean Houston. And the thing that struck us most about Dr. Houston's talk was her interview with Mother Teresa. Houston asked her, how can you do all these things? How can you help lepers live a better life? How can you find a way to give a wonderful education to that day-old child that was left on your convent steps? How do you manage to help the old man who's dying on the streets of Calcutta? How can you do all these things? The Red Cross can't do them, but you're doing them. And Mother Teresa answered, it's because I'm so deeply in love. And Jean, who had worked with this woman quite a bit, said, would you mind telling me who you're in love with? I'm in love with Jesus. I'm married to Jesus. And Jean said, oh yes, of course, all nuns are married to Jesus. And Mother Teresa said, no, you don't understand. I really am. I am in such a state of love with my beloved that I see the face of my beloved reflected in that day-old child, and the leper who wants a new life, and the man who is dying. I'm in such a state of loving that I cannot do enough for my beloved. So my beloved cannot do enough for me. Mother Teresa joined the convent at the age of 18. She taught the girls' high school in Calcutta for almost 20 years. And then she got a call within a call, that's what she called it. She got a series of visions and messages. And in these visions and messages, Jesus was asking her to be his light. She was to start a religious community dedicated to the poorest of the poor. It took 2 years. It took convincing a very tough bishop. But finally, she got permission to begin a ministry to the unwanted, unloved, uncared for. She started out all alone, walking into the streets of Calcutta, but gradually she was joined, one by her former students, and then by many, many others. Starting in 1960, Mother Teresa started sending her sisters out to other parts of India to do the same thing that they were doing right there in Calcutta. Then the work became even larger. She gradually opened houses and started foundations. It ended up in 123 countries, including hospices, centers for the blind, aged, and disabled, a leper colony, schools for slum children, as well as relief after disasters, natural disasters like floods or epidemics, famine, care for shut-ins, alcoholics, the homeless, people with AIDS. When you think of the likelihood of a nun who was barely 5 feet tall, without a great deal of education, accomplishing such just amazing good in this world. It's nothing short of awesome. But when a dream, a vision, a goal is fully connected with an unlimited love for the beloved, well, miracles are possible. Miracles. Dr. Jean Houston says, in her studies, for a nun, of course, the archetype for the divine would be Jesus Christ. She says, though, that she has known countless Hindus for whom the object of their love is Krishna, and Buddhists for whom it was Buddha, and for thousands of others, it was the archetype of the deep soul. For a divine scientist, we would call it feeling the love of the Christ within. But when you think about it, isn't this exactly the same thing that Jesus was talking about, except for different words? Isn't what Mother Teresa and countless others have done, are doing, is just loving God with their whole mind and soul and strength. Oh, we can hear the depths of Jesus' insistence that the most important thing that we can do in life is to love God. And love Him with our whole being. That's number one. That's number one. That's what Jesus did. That's what Mother Teresa did. That's what you and I can do. Dr. Jean Houston is a brilliant woman. What an intellect, my goodness. She uses words like archetypes and fractals and all sorts of other words like that that are not part of my vocabulary. But brilliance, super high intelligence, can be a drawback, a detriment, because it becomes so hard to handle anything except through the intellect. You do not love God, you do not love anyone else or anything else through the intellect. Now listen closely, please. God must never remain just a word for you. Never be satisfied with that. God must become a feeling, a sense of uplift, a sense of connection, a contacting, something that is beyond words. There aren't words. But you know it when it happens. We were physiologically, psychologically, spiritually, and emotionally built, created to experience God. Every one of us, every single one of us. I hope you agree. But how? How are we going to do this? Do you remember our last Thanksgiving service? And I challenged everybody to say thank you 50 times in a day. Sounded like a whole lot, but those of you who might have tried found out pretty quickly that you could say it 50 times just while you were brushing your teeth in the morning. Remember I gave you the little blue dots to help you remember to do that? Well, when saying that affirmation, we became sensitive to all the positive things that were happening in our world, helpful things, pleasant things, but we really hadn't noticed them. they just kind of went past us, and yes, they were there, that was there, but to note them, that was something else. And we began to realize how much God and God's good is present and active in our lives unnoticed. How many reasons really there were to give thanks every day. I don't know how many of you are still saying thank you 50 or more times a day. But over time, life has a way of totally absorbing us in one thing or two or five or 100 and causing us to forget these powerful spiritual practices. But today, I'd like to suggest something I think can help us feel closer and closer to God, to love Him more than we've ever loved Him before. In times past, I've spoken about the Aramaic word Abba. Abba. Jesus used it once in speaking to God. But Abba is a general term of endearment, and it means beloved. There's no gender attached to it. You can say Abba to male or female. Jesus said Abba, Father. He thought in terms of God as a father. But it could be as easily said Abba, mother, or beloved child, or dear beloved son, daughter, whatever. What if we followed Mother Teresa's example and looked in every face and saw the face of the beloved, Abba? The face, the presence of God, because God is right there. God's image is in everyone. Walk through the grocery store, push your cart along, and say, beloved, to the person who's walking ahead of you. Say it again to the person who's walking past you this way. Don't just look on the shelves for what you're looking for. Say it to everybody you move past in the grocery store. Silently, of course. Say it silently to the cashier who's obviously in a grumpy mood. Drive along the street and say, beloved. Know the presence of God in the person who's driving that car in front of you, or the one who's moving past you this way. Say it silently at home, at work, especially to the difficult people, especially to them. And you will find, interestingly, that they are not quite as difficult as they were before. You will find that you begin to love them, love the divine within them, and for God, it is a fulfillment of His desire to have His love returned to Him. It's uplifting. It's kind of a fun. It's a little bit of a challenge, but it pays off. You begin to see the Spirit of God, the presence of God, the love of God in everyone. Or you might start saying thank you again. And as you say thank you, you're going to find more and more good in life, in the events and in the people in your life. And what's more, you're going to find the gratitude within you and your love for God growing and growing and growing. Mother Teresa said, love is a fruit in season and within reach of every hand. Greater love for God is within reach of your hand and my hand. And it will attract greater fruit of every kind in your life. Mother Teresa said she loved her beloved. She couldn't do enough for her beloved, and her beloved could not do enough for her. And so it will be for us as we sow love to God and to the others around us. We will be lifted on a wave of greater love than we can ever imagine. Now this morning, I have more dots. They're brighter ones today too. But they're going to help you remember to start saying either thank you, thank you, thank you, and seeing the good that is around you all the time. Or say silently, Abba, beloved, to the people you meet everywhere. And a blessing to the world. And a blessing to you. Exactly what Jesus requested, suggested, said was the most important thing. Loving God. Shall we go with him? Oh, the paths are so many. And life is so distracting. And yet, the most important thing must find its place within the busyness and the pressures, the pain and the joys, the fun of life. Let us love. Let us find the way to express it more and more. My beloved cannot do enough for me. You will be raised on the tide of love as never before. But first, you must give it. You must let it flow from you. Thank you, beloved father, mother, friend, companion, leader, advisor. Thank you for the focus, the energy, the wisdom to love you with heart, soul, mind, and strength. Amen.
So this song is called Put Your Roots Down. It is not a Valentine's Day song. I'm sorry. But it's really also very much in my heart. I don't know who wrote it. I learned it from a friend recently. And it's about connecting with the earth. And it's really fun. And it should get your body moving. So you should just stretch and move your body, because that's what I'm going to do. Enjoy. Put your roots down, put your feet on the ground. Can you hear what she says when you listen? Put your roots down, put your feet on the ground. Can you hear what she says when you listen? 'Cause the sound of the river as it moves across the stones is the same sound as the blood in your body as it moves across your bones, across your bones. Put your roots down, put your feet on the ground. Can you hear what she says when you listen? Put your roots down, put your feet on the ground. Can you hear what she says when you listen? 'Cause the sound of the river as it moves across the stone is the same sound as the blood in your body as it moves across your bones. Put your roots down, put your feet on the ground. Can you hear what she says when you listen? Put your roots down, put your feet on the ground. Can you hear what she says when you listen? 'Cause the sound of the river as it moves across the stones is the same sound as the blood in your body as it moves across your bones. Put your roots down, put your feet on the ground. Can you hear what she says when you listen? Put your roots down, put your feet on the ground. Can you hear what she says when you listen? 'Cause the sound of the river as it moves across the stones is the same sound as the blood in your body as it moves across your bones. Put your roots down, put your feet on the ground. Can you hear what she says when you listen? Put your roots down, put your feet on the ground. Can you hear what she says when you listen? The sound of the river as it moves across the stone. Same sound as the blood in your body as it moves across your bones. Same sound. Move your bones, move your bones, move your bones, move your bones. Can you feel it? Can you feel it in your bones? Oh, it's winter time, it's cold. But when you move your body, you feel your bones, feel your blood, feel the rivers, feel the oceans in your body. Feel your blood, feel the rivers, feel the oceans in your body. It's in your bones, yeah. Feel it in your bones. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Put your roots down, put your feet on the ground. Can you hear what she says when you listen? Put your roots down, put your feet on the ground. Can you hear what she says when you listen? 'Cause the put your roots down, put your feet on the ground. Can you hear what she says when you listen? Is the put your same sound as the feet on the ground. Can you hear what she says when you listen? Put your roots down, put your feet on the ground. Can you hear what she says when you listen? Put your roots down, put your feet on the ground. Can you hear what she says when you listen? Put your roots down, put your feet on the ground. Can you hear what she says when you listen? Put your roots down, put your feet on the ground. Can you hear what she says when you listen? Put your roots down, put your feet on the ground. Can you hear what she says when you listen? 'Cause the sound of the river as it moves across the stones is the same sound as the blood in your body as it moves across your bones. Put your roots down, put your feet on the ground. Can you hear what she says when you listen? Are you listening? Put your roots down, put your feet on the ground. Can you hear what she says when you listen? Are you listening? 'Cause the sound of the river as it moves across the stones. Are you listening? Same sound as the blood in your body as it moves across your bones. Are you listening? Are you listening? Ooh, yeah. Are you listening? Yeah. Ooh. Are you listening? Are you listening?
Well, that was some really fun on-Valentine's music. That was terrific. We always love it when Joy sends us a CD, I guess it's on a flash drive, actually. So anyway, it's really great for technology because we can just plug it in and she's right here. It's really quite exciting. So next, what we're going to do is we're going to do the blessing of the gifts. Okay, let's say that together. Today, I acknowledge God, omnipresent, as the source of all good, as the source of my good. With this acknowledgement, I accept God's will, which is the abundance in every aspect of my life. I release all thoughts of lack and limitation, and I am open and receptive to the increased flow of abundance to me right now. I joyfully accept the gifts of life and give freely of the special gift that I am. Through me, God omnipresent blesses and multiplies this gift for all. Thank you, dear God.
I'll be right there,
Okay.
hopefully.
Good morning and happy Valentine's to everyone. Good morning. I want to say a special thank you to my angels this morning, Nancy and Ann, and the technology angel that I prayed to because the computer wasn't going to do its thing this morning. So Doug texted me early this morning and he's hoping we'll be feeling better, but he's one of the few people that I know had a reaction to the virus vaccine. So, but he will be fine. He's just going to have a probably rest today. But anyhow, thank you, Nancy and Ann, for stepping up. And again, I picked out a message from Maurita, and Ann's reading was Mother Teresa. How did she know? So, don't know, but that's the way it works. So thank you all again. I really do appreciate it. I couldn't ask for any better board members because they really step up when I need them, so I appreciate that. Anyhow, the flowers today are sponsored by Jerry, and his he told me, he said, they're for all the women I love. And I wasn't going there. I think he's trying to keep up with Doug, but he's going to take him to his wife Karen, just so everybody knows. Okay, so we still have some blank spots on the flower calendar. If anybody would like to sign up for those, we'd appreciate it. I know we're supposed to have a board meeting this week. We're not having one because we have 2 board members that can't be here, so I prefer not to have a board meeting with just 3 board members. So we're going to try for the 22nd. If that doesn't work, we will move it up to another week, but I will keep you informed, but it will not be one this week. Also wanted to they're starting on the roof this week, but of course the weather turned bad, so they'll be finishing that as soon as the weather turns good again. And so again, I think I mentioned to you that we raised $9,700 with that fundraiser that we had with matching funds. So again, I thank everybody. We're getting out a newsletter and a letter to tell you all about all the money we raised and what it all went for, so everybody knows exactly what it's all gone for. I think we're going to have enough left, just enough to replace the 2 windows in the back of the office there, which is wonderful. So again, I think Ann's going to have that ready to go out this week, and everybody will know what we got and what we spent it for. So I want everybody to stay updated on that. Also, we're going to start sending out a quarterly newsletter to keep people updated on things. And the first one will go out this week also with, I think you're going to put it in with that letter, and it's going to be an ongoing thing. So I hope if you have any comments about it or anything you want to add to it, please see Ann or I will. But I think it's a way to keep people in contact, especially another way because people aren't being able to come still to church. I know a lot of people are being vaccinated. Some people have had their first shot, some have had their second, but still it'll be a while before we can all get back together. And when we do, we still have to wear masks and so forth. So anyhow, but it's not going to be as long as it has been. So it's been just about a year now. So things will get better. They are getting better. So I wanted to give you an update a little bit. Melanie, as I said last week, was in the hospital. She is now in rehab. She will be there until at least March the 2nd. We've got an address for her. We like to kind of bombard her with cards. She can't have visitors, of course, being in the hospital, so that makes it kind of hard. She can talk on the phone. You text her, sometimes she can't text back because she's not texting very well, but just so I would like to bombard her with some cards if people would like to send her a card. We've got the address for her. And there are several other people that are sick or in the hospital or going through issues, and a lot of people are going through issues we don't even know about it. I've said this many, many times. So today's Love Day, but every day should be Love Day. So it doesn't mean just love your next door neighbor, it means love everybody. So we just ask that you keep all these people in prayer. I ask also, I've been meaning to mention this, but there's a lot of people who have been able to come to church. So I'd like for all of you just to take the directory that you're going to get in the mail this week also, and just pick one person and be in contact with that person for a week or a month. Send them a card, call them or something to let them know that they're being thought about. We have, I try to keep in contact with a lot of people that haven't been here at all, but it's kind of hard. It would be nice if they heard from other people other than just me. So, and Anne's been really good. She's been sending cards from the church. But it would be nice if you just take one person, and maybe the same person, maybe all of you will take the same person, I don't know. But at least they'll know. Just get in contact with them and send them a card or call them or something, and it'll make a huge difference in their life. So greatly appreciate it. Maria, do you have anything? Anybody else have anything?
I do.
Or you have something?
Make sure that Melanie's address, that they know it's to community, not community memorial, but the community hospital on Elm Street.
Right, I wrote down the address, so if anybody wants to.
Some people don't, like, somebody asked me and they said, oh, that doesn't make sense. And
Right, but it's the community, it's the rehab at the community, it's not actually the Roanoke Memorial. So we've got the correct address, Tina gave it to us so that we make sure that it gets there. So, you had something?
Yes, we were not able to have the IONS meeting last Friday because there was a front coming in and we were concerned about people getting home safely. So it was postponed until next Friday at 7 o'clock. And we invite everybody who might be interested in near-death experience to join us. It's always an interesting time. We're going to pick out one of the speakers from the 2019 conference, and it should be very interesting. So I thank you for coming.
When you say next, do you mean this coming?
This coming
Friday.
Friday, yeah. What is it?
Providing the weather stays
Yeah,
good.
really.
Yeah, right.
February's not been a good month for planning stuff, but yeah, we'll keep, if something happens and it's going to be canceled, of course, we'll let everybody know, but I haven't checked a long.
It's this Friday coming.
Okay, which will be the 19th, or I think
Something like that.
Okay. And other than that, I can't think, anybody else have anything? Okay, all right. Then I know we always close with a prayer, a silent prayer for the country, and we're going to do that again today. Take about 90 seconds and do that. Goodness knows the whole world needs a prayer, so many of them. So we'll just have a silent prayer for about 90 seconds. It doesn't matter, as Doug says, Democrat, Republican, it doesn't matter what party you are, this country needs a prayer, and so does the whole world actually, so we just ask that you do that.